You're listening to Tiger Cats at the Half.
Tiger Cats at the Half, presented by my insurance broker, Bubba O'Neil, along with Andy Fantuz. 17-4 for the Toronto Argonauts here. Quite a scene at Tim Hortons Field. We got the rock band going on right now. A lot of excitement. Fans still really into it. And Andy, this is one of those halves where we talked about field position and how important it would be. Now, it hasn't been horrible for Hamilton, but it's been terrific for Toronto.
It certainly has, and especially in that first quarter when Hamilton was against the wind, it seemed like Toronto was always right at the half-yard line, or even in Hamilton territory before they got started or after one first down. And that was really the difference in the game. They got out to that 17-0 lead in that first quarter, and since then it's been a pretty even ball game. If anything, I would say Hamilton has controlled the flow of the game since that start. But you look at all the stats, I mean, they're pretty equal across the board, from net offense to first downs to second down conversions. Hamilton's got the slight edge in a lot of these stats, but the one thing they don't have the edge on is penalties. They're taking too many penalties. They already have 6 penalties for 51 yards, and they've given up 2 crucial sacks. Other than that, it's been right there for them. They just haven't been able to put the ball in the end zone, and that's been the difference in the game, is those touchdowns.
Well, you talk about putting the ball into the end zone, and it looks like Toronto really, in terms of if you want to do some type of comparison, the explosion plays that we talk about, yet still Hamilton still trying to find themselves. Taylor Powell kind of getting into himself in the second quarter, finding the ball, moving it around a little bit. James Butler gets going, but nonetheless, though, Chad Kelly, when he goes up top, he hurts you hard.
He does when he goes up top. You saw right after that interception by Peters, very next play, he had that rollout, kind of threw it back, sort of back across the middle to Daniel. It was just a gorgeous throw and beautiful play that they executed into a touchdown. But he's also getting it done on the feet, with his feet when he needs it. A couple second and long plays where he kind of took a seam up the middle, made a few moves on the linebacking crew, and was able to pick up the first down. So that's clutch execution when they needed it the most. I haven't been upset with what I saw from Taylor Powell so far. I mean, he's thrown the ball downfield a few times. He did have a drop. He had the one interception. A couple more could have been picked. So those ones are decisions he's going to want back. But it's nice to see him throwing the ball downfield. There was one instance where I thought he dropped back and he was ready to throw, and he didn't pull the trigger, and he ended up taking a sack, which took them out of field goal position. And next play there was the fumble on the punt, and 15-yard penalty, and this and that, it just kind of snowballs from there. So I'd like to see him just let loose and pull the trigger on that when it's an in-rhythm throw, and give the receiver a chance to make a play. We don't see a lot of that from him so far this season, and it's time we start seeing it.
With that said, here we talk about the point differential there for the Ticats and the Argonauts, yet the Ticats are winning the turnover battle.
The Ticats have 2 against the Argos 1. They're winning the turnover battle. They have a slight edge They have a healthy edge in plays. They have a slight edge in first downs, in total yards. Second down conversions, they're just under 50%, where Toronto is sitting at 33%. But it's really Toronto only has those 3 conversions on second down, but they were critical moments. And so you gotta, you don't hate what you're seeing out of Hamilton so far. They just dug themselves so deep, and that's what we were afraid of in the pregame show, to get behind the 8 ball and not be able to control the flow of this game and to keep the crowd into it. Now you got to give this crowd some credit, because they're still rocking out, and the band right now, Dwayne Gretzky's doing a good job of keeping them fired up. So it is a lot of fun, and the crowd's, I think, feeling some hope now that they put some points on the board and shut out the Argos in the second quarter.
Well, nonetheless, there we talk about the 50-50. That's well over $60,000 at this point now. Fans are certainly getting involved in that. You can still get involved, folks, if you are not here and you're listening to us on the Ticats Audio Network. You can buy your tickets at ticats5050.com until the end of the third quarter. And as always, all proceeds benefit that wonderful Bulldogs Foundation. One last thing, when we look at this, analyze it, let's break it down. What do the Tiger Cats need to do going forward to get themselves back into this ball game? We said we wanted to keep it within 10 points at halftime. What do they have to do to go forward?
Well, I think defensively they need to continue to load the box and shut down the run. And the Argonauts only have 38 rushing yards, but 25 of them are from those 2 scrambles from Chad Kelly. So they're doing a great job against A.J. Ouellette and Andrew Harris. Yeah, they had that 1 touchdown, but overall they're doing a great job shutting down the run. So if they can keep Toronto one-dimensional, at least for the most part, I think they'll continue to have success defensively. Offensively, they got to come up with some of those deep balls. They one way or another, they got to continue to try to go over top, but they need to come up with a couple of those to spark that team. And then I think that will allow that energy to kind of translate more into the running game. The Ticats have 41 rushing yards, 38 by Butler, so that's not bad. He's 6 rushes for 38 yards, so they can continue to work him in, but they're going to need a spark from their receivers in the passing game to get them going and cut this lead in half. And then from there, it's going to be a grind-out game, and I like the Ticats' chances if they can come out and score first and cut this lead in half.
Well, one person that added a lot of spark to that Ticats defense for 3 years, and boy, they were 3 good years for crying out loud, going to the Grey Cup, at least 2 of them I can think of. Boy, and Erik Harris, he's an alumnus of distinction here with us. Boy, it is great to see you, boy. And I know you went off to the NFL and had lots of success with the Saints, the Falcons, the Raiders. You're looking tight right now. I mean, I think the Ticats could use you right now.
Hey, I'm staying in shape right now, that's for sure.
Yeah, we were talking off air. We're saying, I wonder if he can get a 1-game contract and not lose any eligibility down for the NFL.
Hey, it's tempting, especially being back here, seeing the fans, feeling the energy. Nothing like a Labor Day Classic. If this is a game to show up for, I'm glad to be back.
And you understand that too, that the importance of Labor Day.
Oh yeah, definitely. The intensity all week. I mean, just being locked in. I've talked to the teams a couple of times, and Coach O kind of puts me on the spot, and I start talking. I'm really not the rah-rah guy, but it's just something about it. Like it brings out the best of everybody.
Well, I see you walking around with Courtney Stephen, one of your ex-running mates there in the backfield, and a couple guys are still playing that were on your team, like Ted Laurence and Moni Lawrence. But seeing guys like, I mean, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but seeing guys like Jeff Reinbold and Orlando Steinauer, like those guys really helped mold you to who you are today, huh?
Yeah, they really did. I mean, they believed in me. That was the biggest thing. And just having somebody that believe in you is a great feeling. But just as a father, I was a young father at the time of twins. Everybody knows the kids. They're on the jumbo more than me. It's all good. But just as a man, as a player and stuff, they really instilled a lot of characteristics in what I carry today.
That's great, and those boys are here, and your other 2 are here as well. You got all 4.
We got the whole crew. We took up the whole back seat of the Delta plane.
Staying cool, I hope. I know this is nothing for you, living down in kind of the peak of Alabama and Florida there, in the Panhandle. But for us, this is pretty hot today.
Yeah, I mean, it is hot, and I remember we were just talking about it. One of the Labor Day Classics, my son, he was like almost having like a heat stroke when he was little. They had to take him to the bathroom, throw water on him and everything. So I remember the Labor Day games. They always seem to be a little hotter.
Yeah, well, we always had the day games on Labor Day. It's a little bit later start today. So just overall, what's it been like to kind of come back to Hamilton and to Tim Hortons Field in particular?
Man, it's always special. Just seeing everything, telling the kids, the twins didn't remember much. Hey, you've been there before, you've been in that building, and everybody's seeing them saying you were this big, and they're just seeing their face light up. It's just my heart's been happy. I keep saying it's like when you're going on a long vacation, you always have that moment like I'm ready to be home in my own bed, and I feel like I'm finally home off that vacation of being away for 7+ years. So it's really special to be back.
You're not an old man. Like, are you still playing?
I'm still trying to play.
Right.
Yep, still trying to play. Still staying in shape down in Florida, training at XOs and everything. Waiting for a phone call.
Right.
The phone should be ringing a little bit more after week 1 for me. But if it doesn't, we have other options, I believe.
Right. Because you're playing special teams and you had some defensive secondary responsibilities as well, too.
Absolutely. Probably at this point in my career, more of a special teams guy, more of a accountable person that can step in on defense. Have seen enough on defense that guys can trust, right? But everybody has that young guy that they're trying to develop. But it never hurts to have a great leader in the room to help those young guys out and to lead them and show them how to be a professional. Well,
for those listening, Erik went on to sign with the Saints after finishing with the Ticats, and then played and then got a starting job when he went to the Raiders. At the time they were Oakland, and then moved over to Las Vegas and signed a nice contract and was the starter for a number of games there. Then went over to Atlanta, signed a nice deal there, and like you said, a free agent right now, but that's just the nature of the business. Stay ready, so you've got to get ready, and you're building a home with your family down in
Florida. Yep, on the water, Pensacola area.
Pensacola.
Yeah. Yep.
Very nice. So any message for the Ticat fans? We're running out of time here.
Hey, man, I just from the Harris family as a whole, we just always appreciate it. Everything you guys ever done for us, accepting us, and just making us feel like home. We're so happy to be back, and it's been special.
And what do they need to do here in the second half?
I remember it's the win factor, right? Toronto did a great job capitalizing when they had the win at their back, and as a defense, you just gotta know the shots are coming as a defender. So they defend the deep ball. Offense just get something going, like you were saying earlier. We need a spark. We need a spark on offense, and defense doing a great job to just capitalize, really.
Well, Erik, you are one of those players that you are a great story, a guy that didn't get it the easy way. You work hard, and look at the benefits that have really just spelled out for you. So great to see you back here in Steel Town. Boy, hey, if it doesn't work out in the NFL, I can talk to Coach O.
There you go.
We can get you back in here.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for joining us here. Folks, we're getting ready. Tiger Cats at the half comes to a close. We're getting ready for that second half with RJ and Luke. They are ready and pumped up. Second half action. Last 30 minutes. Let's hope it's a good one for the Tiger Cats. You're listening to Tiger Cats at the half. My insurance broker on the Ticats Audio Network.